piece. We looked at a document, a primary document, and then you guys needed to find some evidence within that document that would support which colonial region that you thought it was talking about, right? And you hopefully took that, wrote it into some type of paragraph on the back side with your evidence inside of there, okay? So what I'm going to have you do today is we are going to split out into our corners as to which colonial region you think is being represented via this poem, okay? So if you believe it's the New England colonial region, you're going to go back to where the corner where the pencil sharpener is. If you feel that it is the middle colonial regions, you're going to go back to the book corner there. And if you think it is the southern colonial region, we're going to have you go to the door corner. And if you think it's England, you're going to come stand by me. I hope I don't have anyone standing by me. Just saying. Okay, move to your corner with your paper. That's all right. All right, so, okay. So I'm just going to kind of look right now. We've got a little clumping over here in our New England. We have a little bit larger clumping here in our middle colonial people, and we have a little clumping over here in our southern colonial region, which is good. It's exactly why I gave you the piece that I gave you, because there is purpose for each of you to be standing and reasoning for each of you to be standing in the corners that you're standing in. Okay? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to go get in a little gathering. Maybe the middle colonies you're going to want to, you're going to have the hardest time getting through this with the number of people. So if you split maybe up into two smaller groups, and I want you just to share out with each other what were those key things that you found as evidence from the text and from your knowledge, your background knowledge, as to why you selected the region that you selected. Okay? So I'm going to give you about a minute just to go over those pieces of evidence, because we're going to be sharing those out as a whole group. So be a good listener, but also be a good responder. Okay? Go for it.
Wait, who's first? You go first. Plymouth, which is located in Massachusetts Bay County, which is part of the
That's what I did.
And then also in the passage how this says, blessed by his name, who doth provide. This is clearly talking about God.
Yeah, so
New England County is Reagan's religion, so it clearly is them again. And also New England also had
Still, they got invaded.
So, it's German people, not English. It didn't say that German were first. It does say that it's a German town. And then also, Plymouth is in the New England colonies, but it says that's a nearby township.
That's just what might have to be around the top of it.
Yeah, the northern part.
And they built houses out of brick and stones.
Yeah.
Trade,
And strange to be seen in the wilderness, that means they had a lot of cities and not much. Like lots of woods, not as many woods.
they had farming and also trading, so they probably had a lot of different things. And they had also play. And the middle colonies were known for all their
Other from the text that was one trade beans and employment for others, so that we stay close.
So what does that tell you then, Audrey? What are you thinking? What evidence would that be then? Okay, potentially. All right, Ryland, do you have anything else? Is there anything else that you guys talked about besides the idea of slavery?
plantations were more spread out, which means they have more land. And like in the middle and the first group over there, I can't remember the name. And they were kind of more packed together, and there wasn't like larger space.
Okay. Okay. All right. Be ready to share your reasonings, okay? You guys have it pulled together for your reasonings?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. New England colonies, are you guys ready to share? Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do next. And it's going to be, again, the trickiest for our middle colonies because you have so many people. But I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to talk about why you think that your region choice was the best choice. So I want you to be your job is to try and convince anybody else out there to move to your colonial region because you thought this through better and probably have some evidence to support that, okay? So I'm going to start here with our southern colonies. Then I'll go to the middle colonial region, and then I'll go to the New England colonial region, okay? And I want you just to spit out as much evidence. Again, you're trying to convince somebody, okay? RJ, quick question.
Can you have like an interjection to what they say, like a counter argument?
Oh, that's a really great question. I think for today, we're going to not do some counter argument. I know, but you can, in your response, then go back and reflect on that. I just don't want you to interject their thought process while they're saying things. But you could say, these guys said this, but this is really why we're saying this, okay? All right, Southern colonies, are you ready? Okay, let's hear from you. Let's go.
The reason why I chose the southern colonies was they had a multitude of new plantations.
Okay.
And also from the text, one trade brings in employment for another, so that we may suppose each trade a brother.
Okay, and what were you thinking for that?
It's probably slaves that they were trading.
Okay, good. Anything else from you guys?
My reasoning is that there were large plantations, and in the in the middle and the New England colonies, there wasn't as much land to have bigger plantations on.
Okay, all right, good. All right, my middle colony group, you got to kind of share it out. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was a German town, and a lot of people in the New England colonies were English Puritans, and the southern colonies were part of the English church, so they were most likely English. Oh. Another reason is that it said a city and towns were raised then. This is like saying that in middle colonies it said that towns grew into cities from importing goods, so that could be what it means.
Okay.
And it says, "Oh, blessed is his name." That's a religion piece, and in the middle colonies, religion was a pretty big piece.
Okay. All right. Good.
It also talks about the Low Dutch, and the Dutch and Swedish, I think, were the first ones there.
Okay.
And I don't know about German, but they might have been. And then they got kind of forced out, so they might have considered well.
Okay. Anybody from the back corner of that wants to kind of spit in any information that hasn't been shared yet?
That their trade fits well within their habitation, and it does.
Okay.
Because, there are a lot of animals and stuff, and they traded lots of fur and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. Okay. New England colonies. Let's hear from you guys.
To go against Audrey, may I remind you that the New England colonies were mostly made up of the separatists separated, and they were the ones big in the religion, and the middle colonies were the ones with the religious tolerance. Also, that goes with "Oh, blessed by his name." That's clearly referred to God. Again, religion. It says a wilderness, and the New England colonies were known for having an abundance of trees. Also, it says when they list the towns, Plymouth, and Plymouth is located in the Massachusetts Bay Colony, which is part of New England colonies.
Okay. Hang on, Jacob. Let somebody else speak. 'Cause I know you got a great voice, but there's got to be some other friends on your team. Brett, go for it.
Plymouth was a New England colony
Okay.
from Irby, so why would this colony, if it specifically said Plymouth colony, and if it would be in the middle if it was a New England colony?
Okay, good. Anything else from your team? Yep, Stephen?
It says there was a big city and a few towns,
Okay.
and New York City was one of the first cities ever that was in a colony at that time.
Okay. All right. Okay. We got to do a quick little couple. All right, let's quick here. Go for it.
Okay, so I have two comebacks. One, the wilderness, it says strange to be seen in the wilderness, not lots of wilderness. So in the New England colonies there were lots of city, the middle colonies were lots of city, not as much wilderness.
Okay.
And that New York City was in the middle colonies, not New England.
Okay. Okay.
Also, I think Brett said this, it said Plymouth was in the New England colonies, but it said those were some of the towns that were near, so his town could have been in like the northern middle colonies, which would be still near Plymouth.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have any counteractions or counterparts that you want to plug into? Nope. You're sticking by what you got. Okay. You guys over here, any counters? Yep.
For Ethan, the New England colonies made ships, so they needed
Okay.
wood,
Okay.
and they said that they had like forests
Okay.
and lots of trees.
Okay, but be careful look at the wording on how that has that on there. Was it talking about that they were surrounded by trees? Look at how they worded that. Okay. Really great discussion, you guys. I certainly appreciate that. I'm going to allow you, if you want to choose to move, I'm going to give you a 10-second count. And if you think that you're convinced by somebody else other than what you wrote about, you may move. 10. I'm closing my eyes even. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No one's moving. Way to go. Way to stay firm in your decision-making process. I will go here to the southern colonies really quickly because they brought up the idea of the slavery piece, which it kind of leads you to think about that. But if you look a little closer in there, it's really talking about that they're able to work on the trade. The trade actually enhances the employment, not necessarily a trade for one person for another. Okay? So that one's a little tricky. So I'm going to counter that one and saying they really were talking about the idea of trading items with each other. Okay? You guys over here in my New England colony, you had a very strong lead on the religious piece, which I think is huge. But remembering that the Puritans had very specific rules on their religious piece, that was important. But the middle colonies, the middle region also had a pretty strong religious piece. Theirs was much broader, though, because they were known for religious tolerance, okay? The Plymouth piece certainly does kind of sneak in there, and it would be what, like RJ had said, potentially they're talking about another town that's close by, or it could even be the fact that they had more than one city by the same name. Would that make sense? Could that have happened? If you look down there, they gave you some other cities. Did any of you look to see if those were in the New England region? They gave you some other names. Could you have used that as evidence, potentially? Maybe. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you know. They talked about trade. Which region was the most known for trade? Middle colonies. They did talk about religion a little bit. Middle colonies definitely had that be a part of that. They also talked about the ideas of towns and cities. Which colony was known for the most people and the most kind of packed full? Middle colonies. The answer is the middle colonial region. All right, so you can see that there were some tricky parts to this, right? Because were there a few little hints for the New England colonies? Were there a few little hints for these guys over here? Ooh, we didn't talk at all, and you guys didn't bring up the idea of flax at all, but what is flax again? Wheat. It's a wheat product, so where would that be more likely grown? In there. And our New England colonies, they did talk about plantations, and did they have those up in the New England colonies? Not so much, so that should have been that place where you could have gone, ooh, man. So the key thing is, they did have hints for all of the colonial regions, but the middle colonial regions had the most hints. Henceforth, why they are the winner chicken dinners for this one. Nice job, you guys. Head on back to your seats.